Hey guys, welcome to Cinetopical. Nate here with a video that I'm not even excited about because today I'm talking about my worst movies of 2020. I don't even like talking about bad movies. Strange Wang told me I had to do it. Here I am. Starting off with number 10, it's going to be Eurovision Song Quest. I know the title's a lot longer than that. The thing about this movie is I actually kind of enjoyed it a little bit. I thought it was really fun and quirky, and parts of it made me laugh, but still, it's like a guilty pleasure. You know, there are plenty of movies out there, you know they're terrible, but you still kind of have a little fun with them anyways. So it's at my number 10 spot, down at the bottom. I know a lot of people thought it was a lot worse than I did, but that's okay. Number 9 is going to be Chemical Hearts. It's a young adult adaptation. And some of those I like a lot, some of those I don't. This one was just really hard for me to get through because of how just insanely unhealthy all of the characters in this movie are. And I understand that, people go through traumatic experiences, and those are really hard, and they definitely have effects on us. But this is just over the top. Like, I feel like when you make a character go through, like, a traumatic experience and they react in the way that the female character in this one did, it's so over the top to the point where I feel like it's almost advocating for unhealth. And I don't care for that. And, people need help, and I'm all about that. But, your help after a traumatic experience shouldn't come in the form of, you reinvesting in a new relationship. You need to do some healing first. Number 8 for me, Spencer Confidential. Another movie I had some fun with, but it's just your generic run-of-the-mill action movie. Some of the dialogue was really, really corny. Not that great. Still a decently fun time, but it's not a good movie. And I think what makes it feel like a worse movie for me is that I have some friends who talk about movies like this like they're just like the best thing ever. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but when you're trying to state something as a fact, when we have baselines that we can hold things against for what is and isn't good filmmaking to certain degrees, it makes movies like this even worse for me, and it makes me hate them even more. Number 7 is going to be The Photograph. This one was just so disappointing because I watched the trailer for this film and I was like, man, there could be some really, really good stuff in there. And me and Miss Darby went to see it, and it was just flat, man. They had an opportunity to touch on some really deep and important things about parental expectations and about not letting your the previous generation's failures affect how we are going to choose to look at relationships and things like that. And it was just stagnant, man. All of the points that it wanted to hit, it just did them in a really boring way and a way that lacked any real substance. And that was unfortunate. Number 6 for me is going to be Tesla. Another movie I saw the trailer for, and I was like, I'm so excited for this because A, I love biopics. B, I am super interested. I like history to a fair degree. This rivalry between Tesla and Edison is one that I also find really fascinating because I like things that are about invention, ingenuity, having to make your own place in a growing world and things like that. And it has Ethan Hawke in it, and I like him, and he's a good actor. But, man, this movie was boring. Number 5 is going to be The Binge. I was unaware that we were still making just terrible, terrible early to mid 2000s raunchy teen comedies. I thought we were past that phase. I thought we were done with it. I wanted us to be done with it. It was great, and now it's not. But some of the jokes in this movie were pulled straight from the straight to streaming or straight to DVD American Pie movies. Not even the original one, which is a pretty good movie. They are terrible. They are overcrass. It is not paced well. There's nothing that I liked about this movie. There was no point did I laugh. No point was I invested in these characters. The concept itself is interesting. And I like movies that let me put myself in a world where we're operating different than we are now. And like, obviously they got the premise from The Purge and just went with like the more fun party aspect. I feel like there could have been something good in here. There was not. These jokes were written for like 13-year-old boys, and they're not the kind of jokes that are written for 13-year-old boys that like 13-year-old boys need to hear. So that was rough. Number 4 for me is going to be Hubie Halloween. I'm a 90s kid, guys. Like, I grew up in prime Adam Sandler. I remember what it was like. I remember the joy of turning on TBS on a Sunday afternoon and watching Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore. And I still love those movies so much. And Adam Sandler has done great things. Uncut Gems, phenomenal. Punch Drunk Love, great. I know a lot of people don't love it, but I think Funny People is really good. It's time to give up on that style of humor, Adam. Like, I know you're watching, because I know you just are a huge Cinetopical fan and watch all of our videos. And a friend to friend, man, I'm telling you, the world doesn't need that anymore. And we don't want it. And the people that do want it, they're relics of the past, man. And if that's you, I apologize. But like, it's time to grow in your humor and what you find good. Please, I'm begging you, go talk to someone. Not me, but someone. Number 3 for me is Coffee and Kareem. Wow. I wanted, after I watched this movie, I wanted it to be my number 1 worst movie of 2020 because I hated it so much. I hated everything about it. I think that their portrayal of Kareem was borderline offensive. Like this is just your perception of like young black people, like just rude buffoons. Like they're just aloof about everything. Like we don't need characters like that. It's not helpful. It's not going to be beneficial to society. And I understand that not every film needs to be beneficial to society. We can have some things that are just like pure for entertainment value, but I don't appreciate that. I thought it was terrible. The police jokes were stupid. Ed Helms' character is like again, I understand that it's a movie, but like you have to get me to believe some of this, and like some of the stuff that like it's just so stupid. It's just stupid. That's what it is. Is everything in it is just really stupid. And what I hate about that is that was their intention. They intentionally made something this dumb. And it's just sad that exists. Number 2 for me, they were pretty easy. The first one really bummed me out. We did a trailer reaction to it, and we both were like, that could be really good. That could be like potential Oscar. Oh, it was not, and it's Hillbilly Elegy. Ron Howard, he's a good director. I know he is. I've seen him direct phenomenal movies. But this one was just like, again, an absolute snooze fest. Another situation where you had a good story to tell. Like there was a good way to tell that story, and they just didn't tell it the way that it needed to be told. I'm from the South. I've met plenty of people like these people in this movie. And I would have loved to see like a really heartfelt, really earnest, really emotional, like growth process, like something that we could really learn from in this film, because this film is not made for entertainment value. This film was made for emotional connection, to teach us something. And this was like 11th grade chemistry all over again. I can't sit here and listen to you drone on without falling asleep. And I almost did. And then number 1 for me, after seeing it, I didn't even want to watch it because I knew I was going to hate everything about it. But I needed movies for this list because I knew I was going to have to make it. So I went ahead and watched it anyways. And it's going to be Doolittle. I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. just wanted to knock a movie off of his Disney contract. I don't know if this dude just owed someone a huge favor. Nothing in me wants to believe that he really wanted to make this film. After watching it and seeing him in it, I have a hard time believing that he wanted to make this film because it's really bad. And I understand that the Eddie Murphy Dr. Doolittle movie I'm pretty sure there was a sequel. You know, I understand that is like, it's a real nostalgic movie for some of us. I enjoyed that movie. I was very young. I understand the original Dr. Doolittle is like, I don't know if you'd call it a classic, but people are aware that it exists, even though it's an older film. We were fine with what we had. We were completely fine with what we had. And to top it all off, if you know anything about me from watching our channel, you know I really, really fucking hate movies that have talking animals in them. It's stupid. Live action movies with talking animals in them are the worst thing about film. They're my least favorite thing about film. Don't make any more of those movies. They're not good. They're cheesy and they're corny, and they are almost always just stupid cash grabs, which is what this was. They were trying to use the star power of Robert Downey Jr. and the familiar concept of Doolittle, and they just wanted your money. And they didn't care if they made a good movie to get your money. They just wanted your money, and people gave it to them. And that's so sad. Those are my 10 worst films of 2020. Let me know what films you just absolutely couldn't stand down in the comment section below. If I talked about a movie that you loved, you could tell me I'm stupid. I don't care. We'll have a good, productive conversation about it. Scroll back up, hit the like button, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.